Hi grades 4. So today we are looking at our math lesson 13, and in this lesson we are looking at parallel lines. So we have been talking about perpendicular lines, and we learned that we show perpendicular lines by drawing this tiny square, right, to show that it's a perpendicular line. When we draw parallel lines, we draw these arrows. These arrows to show that the lines are parallel. Okay, so that's, I just read it in your textbook. So let's flip to page 81. That's what I'm looking at. So page 81 of your textbook. And at the end of this video, you will be finishing exercise 47. So it is page 119 and 120. So let's talk about parallel lines before we get started. So on page 81, they've given us examples of parallel lines, right? So here, they've shown us these arrows. So this and this, that means both lines are parallel. Now, if you look, both of these lines, they go straight, right? But do they ever touch each other? No, they don't. Okay, so that's what parallel lines are. They keep on going forever, but they will never touch each other. Okay, they will never cross paths. They will never intersect. So parallel lines, so I'll draw you an example. Okay, so imagine that we have this line, and we have this line. Sorry, it's not as straight. Do you think there will ever come a point where they will touch each other? Like, would they ever, does it seem like that they would ever touch each other? Like, would they ever become like this? Does that even look like now straight? No, it doesn't. So these will remain parallel lines, right? Whereas, so they will keep on going forever and ever, right? That's what would happen. They will keep on going. So they are parallel lines because they will never intersect. Intersect means there will never be a point where they will touch. Okay, now I'll give you another example. Okay, so look at this line and look at this line. Are these parallel lines? No, they're not parallel. Because do you think there's a possibility and chance that if we keep on drawing these two lines, that they would end up touching each other, right? So therefore, they are not parallel lines. Parallel lines, they never touch each other. There's not a chance that they would touch each other, okay? So how do we show parallel lines? So imagine I have this line and I have this line. I would draw arrows to show that both these lines are parallel lines, okay? Just like when we had our perpendicular lines, for example, if I were drawing this, right? And I would draw a little square to show that these lines are perpendicular. These arrows show that lines are parallel, okay? Now let's look at our page 81 of our textbook and let's see what it says. Okay, so I'm going to read it and please follow along. It says, these are examples of parallel lines. So over here, they have given us, as I talked about over here, they've given us this fence as an example. Do you think this fence will ever end up touching both of these lines? The top and the bottom one? Would it ever touch? I don't think so, right? Because the fence would be crooked. So these would never touch. So they have shown this by drawing two arrows that it's parallel. Let's look at this swing set. So over here, there's this set of rope and this. Do you think these will ever touch each other? They would keep going straight, right? So they will keep going up. Even if it was longer, even if the rope was pulled up, they would still go in straight direction, right? They would not intersect. They would not touch each other. So these two lines are also parallel and they've marked it with arrows. Then let's look at these lines in the window, the pattern. These lines are also parallel because it doesn't seem like these two lines would ever touch each other. They will keep on going straight forever and ever, right? They would keep on going like this. They would never touch each other. So these are parallel lines. Let's flip to page 81. Okay. So page 81, this shows us these two lines are parallel lines. So look at this. These two lines are parallel lines. If I had a ruler that would fit in here, you would see that the ruler would never, even if I had two rulers, they would never touch each other. So let's say I hold this up, and let's say I hold this up. These two lines would keep on going forever, right? However, let's look at this other line, and let's look over here. If you see, don't you think the ruler and the set square are almost about to touch, right? If we were to keep on going further, they would end up touching each other. So therefore, this would not be an example of a parallel line because one side is straight, but the other side feels like it's about to touch, right? If we were to pull them further, they would touch. So these are not examples of parallel lines. Then at the bottom, so it says we can slide a set square along a ruler to check parallel lines. Okay, so they're saying if you need help to see if a line is parallel, you can always use this, just like they've shown us here, to see if the lines are parallel. So use your ruler and your set square to see if these lines are going to touch or not. So for example, they are holding it this way. Wait, I'm gonna set it so that, oh wait, this one. There. Right? So they're saying, check if it's parallel. So imagine if the line is parallel, it will not come closer, right? But if it's parallel, it will keep going straight. The distance between those two lines will not change. It will keep on going. So these two lines, line AB, forget the middle part, line AB and line CD are parallel lines. So AB is parallel to CD because both these lines, they keep on going forever. They will never touch each other. Okay. Then at the bottom it says, AB is parallel. So AB is parallel to CD. We write AB, two lines to CD. So remember how we were writing our perpendicular? So here we go. Our perpendicular, when we are writing AB is perpendicular to CD, let's say, we are drawing an upside down T. Do you remember that? We had an upside down T. For parallel, when we are writing AB is parallel to CD, we write these two lines. Okay? That means these are parallel lines. Okay? So that's what the symbol means. These two lines, that means these are parallel lines. Where is it? Over here. Okay? Now let's flip to our workbook and let us look at our exercise 47. Okay. So over here we have examples. So they've said AB is parallel to, what is AB parallel to? So AB, is it parallel to CD? Do you think this CD is parallel to AB? So this is my AB and this is CD, this one. Do you think these two lines are parallel? Or do you think these two lines are parallel, the one at the bottom and the one at the top? The one at the top and the bottom are parallel. So we would write over here, AB is parallel to EF, right? Because CD wouldn't make sense. Because look, at a certain point, they will end up touching each other. Besides, parallel lines don't act like this. Parallel lines are not like acute angles. They keep on going straight. They do not want to touch each other. Okay, so your answer for first one is AB is parallel to E and F. So E and F is your answer for the first one. I'm going to do one more and then you will have the chance to do the rest on your own. So I chose one, and let's look at the last one. Okay, now you need to ask yourself, well, how many parallel lines are here? So there are N and M, and there is K and L. Which lines are parallel? So I'm going to ask you to pause your video, and before I give you the answer, you need to go ahead and you need to do it on your own first. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to hold up your answers for you. Okay, so don't look at the other ones, but K and N are parallel to L and M. So K and N are parallel to L and M. So why is that? Why didn't we choose, let's say, why didn't we choose these two lines? Because these two lines, it seems like they will end up touching each other. So we chose the side lines. Because look, both of these lines will keep on going up. They will not change. Whereas these ones, they are changing their sides. So the top and bottom ones are not parallel. The side ones are parallel. So I would write, I'll write it on the our whiteboard. So I would write, for my last one, I would write K and N are parallel to ML. There we go. Okay, so that is my answer for the last one. Now you get to do these two middle ones. Okay, so you get to find out which ones are parallel. Use your ruler to help you. Okay, then on our second page, they have said list the pairs of perpendicular and parallel lines. So over here at the bottom, you're gonna say, for example, A and B are parallel to C and D. So you're gonna write it in under parallel line section, right? So you're gonna say A and B are parallel to C and D. So under the parallel section, you would write A and B are parallel to C and D. Okay? So they're saying find out all the pairs and list all the pairs of parallel lines and all the pairs of perpendicular lines in the tables below. So because these two are parallel lines, you would write them under the parallel line section. Now let's go ahead and let's look at our perpendicular lines. So over here, we have our perpendicular line. And let's look at this one, the one underneath. So I would say I and J are perpendicular to J and K. So how would I write it? I would say I and J are perpendicular to J and K. So this is how I would write it. I and J are perpendicular to J and K. Now I would write it under the perpendicular lines section over here. So all the lines that are parallel, they would go under in this table. All the perpendicular ones, they would come under here. You need to remember to put the correct symbol as well, right? So 2 lines for parallel, upside down T, upside down T for perpendicular. That's what you need to remember. Okay, so that's your work for today, and I wish you all the very best, and I will see you next time.